Alright, what's up guys? It's Ian from Team Nomina Digression, and here I'm bringing you deck profile of Noble Knights, one that I let my friend borrow, and he won our locals without even an extra deck in it, which I thought was hilarious. I feel like Noble Knights are pretty good right now, a lot of spell and trap destruction, a lot of field clear, and they're pretty solid on their own. After they got the new support, with this mat and the box set, I feel like they became a lot more consistent. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my profile for it. But I run 3 Madrot. 3 Madrot is your bread and butter of the deck. If he's equipped with an equip spell, if he's the only monster, you then summon one from your deck, basically for free, destroy the equip spell, then re-equips to either him or another one, or doesn't re-equip depending on what you have. He's the main card in the deck. And then 3 Merlin, the new card. This card is really good in this deck because it's basically like Madolche Angeli. You summon him, tribute him, it summons any Noble Knight from your deck. I wouldn't be running 3 if it wasn't for the new card that just came out along with Merlin, but this is good getting out Madrot. It's like more consistent Madrot, it's more consistent first turn plays, along with later in the game it's manageable, along with it being a dark. That's another kind of key thing. And then, contrary to popular belief, I'm only running 2 boars. I feel after the new support, 2 boars is fine. 3 boars is kind of cloggy. You won't need more than 3. Actually, one of my friends lost one of the cards, so there were only 1 boars in the deck when he was playing it when he stopped. So that was pretty impressive. But boars is only good if you have an equipped spell card, and the biggest problem with this deck is not having one. And that's where the new support comes in. Double Noble Knight Viewed. Noble Knight Viewed is when he's summoned by any means, kind of like how Stellar work. He then sends an equipped spell from your grave, and during either player's turn, once while he's on the field, you can equip an equipped spell from your grave to him. So like first turn, if you Merlin, you get this out, and you send Gallatin, and then Gallatin re-equips, and you have a 26. And 2,500 is kind of like the standstill where the meta is right now. So that's pretty good. Along with he is literally a pseudo search for your noble arms. Because boars is good only if you have a noble arms. It's the biggest problem with the deck. This one actually searches them. I feel like it's the most efficient card. And 2 is good. 1 you will need more than 1. Double Gwaine. Gwaine is still here if you have bad hands. It special summons if you have a light normal monster, which Madrot, boars, and Gwal are all normal monsters if they're not equipped with anything. So you'll summon him out, and basically you go into XYZ. There's combos with this card. I keep it at 2. Solid, consistent. And then double Dryasdan. I feel like 1 Dryasdan isn't too good right now, because he's the best if you go turn 2, because you Medrot for this thing out. This thing then pops a face-up card on the field, and then you go into Artorigus and pop all his set cards. Pretty much, if you started a good hand. He's also a solid card on his own, and being able to attack things. He's just a really efficient card, so I'm keeping it at 2. One Brothers. One Brothers is you only need 1 because he's like a pot of avarice kind of thing. You shuffle in 3 things that are used into the deck. You draw 1. It's really good. If you have him and boars on the field, which you can get out with his own effect, it's nothing but +1s because boars dumps and adds 1 to hand, so you're +1 on that. Then Brothers takes those that he dumped, puts them back in the deck, and draw 1, now you're +2. And then you go into XYZ from there. 1 Gwal. 1 Gwal is still in the deck. Personally, on the fact that he is like late game, he's like one of your best cards, because if Gwen's in the grave, you equip him with Gwen when you normal summon him. Get Gwaine from grave, Gwen dies, Gwaine steps on the field, and then you make an instant XYZ. Or it gets back your Madrots if you still have stuff to use with him, and so forth and so on. So I think 1 is fine. It's only good later, though. 2 Gwen. You don't really need more than 2, but you need 2 in the case that Rhapsody is a card, or if Gwen gets banished, you need to get Gwen back in the grave. She's easily dumpable by boars. She's not dumpable by the new card, but she is dumpable by like Lava Wall Chain and other cards like that, so she's really effective. 2 Veiler, because you don't have room for back row, so you have to run the hand traps. Also, you can normal summon this and make a 5. It's the only real solid way in this version of the deck to get out your synchro. And Then I run one Honest. Only one. As of right now, it's iffy, because I won't put it to 2, because sometimes your monsters are dark, or sometimes you just don't have a monster. It's normally how Noble Knights work. But if you have an Artorigus lock on the field, and the only way they can do something is swing higher, then you have the Honest and you win. So it's like choicey. It's kind of cited out a lot, but it's alright. I would never put it at more than 1. And then 1 DLS, simply on the fact that Merlin is dark, and some of the XYZs are kind of dark too. So you get this card out, and it's almost a 1-card win. It's kind of self-explanatory. And then it's on to spells. 3 Rhoda. Rhoda's your search card. Almost every single but Merlin is Warriors. So this searches out like your whole deck. You want it at 3. 2 Last Chapters. Last Chapter is your new card. It's basically Monster Reborn. If you control no monsters and your opponent controls a monster, you summon a Noble Knight from the grave and equip it with a equip spell from the grave, making Bude more live too. So it's a Monster Reborn for this deck. Only run it at 2 because 3 is cloggy. You don't want to start it too much. And this card is actually searchable by the Synchro, which is really good. Onto the Noble Arms. I run 8 total, because with 8 total out of a 40 deck, you have a 1 in 5th chance of starting it. So theoretically, you should start it every turn. But 2 Excalibur. Excalibur is your monsters can't be targeted. Really good. 2 Destiny. 2 Destiny is your monster can't be destroyed once per turn by any means. Also good. 2 Caliburn. 2 Caliburn is in here. You plus 500 along with your monster gains 500 attack. And I just think 2 is solid because it's a really good card and it pays for itself. It's also good with other tech in the deck. And then 1 Gallatin for your plus 1,000. Really a lot more live with Bude. It's just a good card. And then 1 of the MST one, which name I cannot pronounce to save my life. But this destroys a set card in the field. And fun fact, you can target a warrior on the field, so you can target Dante and other things that are warriors on the field. It doesn't have to be your own monster. And then they lose 500 attack for destroying their own set spell and trap. So it's a really good card. Tech cards. 2 Kaiser. 2 Kaisers in here because like your boss monster lock is really huge. Dryasdan lock on the field equipped with a whole bunch is really huge. And they have to spend a lot of resources just to get over like Artorigus and stuff. So then once they do, it's even harder for them with Kaiser on the field. Sometimes it's a 1-card win against other decks. 2 MSTs, only 2 this format because I don't really necessarily have the room for a 3rd one. I kind of want to run a 3rd one, but we'll see after testing. 2 is fine as of right now because you're not really playing against your opponent. You're kind of just waiting for your, you're locking the field down and having your opponent cry. So it plays a little bit differently. Tech card that's huge. 1 Solemn Scolding. This card came out, it's Solemn Judgment. It negates anything. But you pay 3,000, which Caliburn pays for. Also, it says it has to be the only set card. So you'll have 3 equipped spells, Kaiser on the field, and then this thing's set. And your opponent can't do anything. I even side another one, just if it's a deck that just goes off with 1 card. So that's why Solemn Scolding's in here. It pays for itself. It's really effective in the deck. Then 1 Warning, because Warning's good. And then 1 Compulse, because Compulse I feel is better than Bottomless and Torrential at this point in the game. So I'm going to run Compulse. Into the extra deck. The extra deck is 2 Artorigus. Artorigus is your rank 4 XYZ. This thing requires 2 rank 4s. It does what both the Artoriguses do when it equips as many as you can. I think it's 3. 3, which is basically all you need. 3 to him when he's summoned, and then he sits on the field with those, and for each equipped to him, you can destroy that many spell and traps on the field that your opponent controls, or yours, I'm not sure. This card is so good, especially turn 2. It's also it's just a solid card. And then 2 of the rank 5 XYZ. This card is, you can destroy 1 face-up card on the field. 1 monster on the field when this thing's on the field. This is your Medraut Boars combo. They both go into this. They're both 5s. Love this card. When he's destroyed, he also summons a level 4 from your grave, meaning you can do stuff. He's kind of like a pseudo floater. Not as good as a lot of the floaters in the game state, but he's pretty good. He does the same thing as Artorigus does with grab 3 from the grave. And this card, you're gonna think it's I'm completely bad after seeing this, but one Utopia. Utopia isn't as bad as people think. Okay, it's pretty bad, but it's a warrior, and all your noble arms pretty much say a warrior type. So you can equip them with Gallatin, Caliburn, stuff like that. It can stall out the game state. It also allows you to swing in with a pretty high attack monster that can't be targeted. This is like a last-ditch effort if I run out of Artorigases and stuff, or if I just feel like negating their attacks is more useful than anything else. So one Utopia, it's not as bad as everyone thinks. One Durandal. Durandal is only good, very key situation, but sometimes it wins you games. If you already have like kind of an established board and you have 2 5s out, you can get this card out pretty easily. And then if they try and do anything, you can switch it to it's a spell and trap, to that their card effect basically turns into that card as an MST. So then it can hit the noble arms, and then the noble arms just re-equip, so it's like not hurting you at all too much. It's really good. It's like a more established field lock is what this does. And then like generic rank 4 is 1 Dweller for Grave Hate, 1 Cowboy for if you want to win faster, 1 Karagorgon. It's really like the only Dark X-Woodsy I go into. You go into it if you have BLS in hand, or if it's it's a lot of targeting deck. It's just a good card, and it's a dark. That's important. 1 Excitation Knight if you ever run out of field advantage. I told you the Gwal Gwaine combo. It's a 1 card. You top deck Gwal and you go Gwal Gwaine. This card you win. It's really good. 1 Mr. Steal Yo Girl. Still calling it that. And this just steals your opponent monster. Again, generic rank 4. Castel. Shuffle card in the deck. It's really good. And then 1 Constellar Omega, because you have a general amount of lights as long as they're not darks with their effects. So you get Omega out and you can like bait your opponent's back row or make it so it doesn't happen. 1 Star Liege for the same reason, because negating your opponent's monster effects, swinging you for 2k and then drawing one and it's destroyed is pretty huge. And the last card in the extra deck is 1 Ignoble Knight of Ty Lonsdale. He is so good. If there was a reliable way to get him out in this deck, there is absolutely no reliable way besides Lady of the Lake. And Lady of the Lake is so bad unless you run Artorigases, because then it's just not as efficient unless you mill it by some ways, and it's just not good with what the deck does. So it's like him and Valor, and then whenever he's summoned by any means, you get your things out, like you get an equip spell and put it onto it. The only thing that really searches an equip spell. And then whenever he destroys anything by battle, he searches any Noble Knight card. That's even your Monster Reborn. He's a really good card. He would be so much better if there was a reliable way to get him out. But yeah, guys, that is the Noble Knight deck profile. Please comment, like, subscribe. We're gonna shoot up a whole bunch of content here in the next couple of days because we just finished shooting all this. Also, the Noble Knight mat, because I can. Alright, thanks guys.